Today, I picked out the best agents from each role to teach you on Ascent. I'm giving you exact playbooks I've used from playing over 4 years and coaching thousands of students. Enjoy. First up is Killjoy. One of my absolute favorite agents in this map, the best sentinel I think there is for this map. I usually play her towards B, and the first thing I want to make loud and clear, because I know a lot of my Killjoy players have seen this lane setup sucks. 90% of the time, it's way better to run a map control setup before you do this lane setup at all. The only time you do this is when you notice they're starting to YOLO rush B. This should never be a default setup. Now that that's clear, let me show you what I like to do. Pissed around, I always do this turret. It's hard to break. It's a very nice turret. Always scans B main. Every other round, I wouldn't do it. Instead, I would go for this turret, especially if I notice the team is more defaulty. This gets you B main control every single time. It's a beautiful line to have, and this will allow you to play more map control. We put an alarm bot towards mid. We now control all of B main and all of mid. We could have 4 players towards A, technically, and be pretty fine here. Alarm bot mid is literally all you need for this. You get to save both your mollies here. You get B main info here. If you want to, if you notice they're pushing B a lot, you can start adding a molly here just to stop the push when they come out. But besides that, this turret's insane. Do not be afraid to push B main a round or 2 off this turret. The best sentinel is a proactive sentinel. Besides that, putting the turret in this corner is actually really nice. Makes it hard to shoot and scans him coming out lane. You combine this with something to counter the Jett dash you commonly face here. Something like this that you just want to cover the entirety of this. When the Jett dash is in, this alarm bot goes off. These 2 mollies cover all of boat. This is what you're looking for out of a setup, something very damage heavy that forces the enemies out. This one's also not bad to do if we end up doing the lane one. I would put the alarm bot all the way back here on stairs. A big part of Killjoy is you want them to be within this range. Let me show you again. Before the alarm bot goes off, you want them to be committed to this space. If the alarm bot goes off here, they're just going to run back here and play around this cover, which is good if you have your mollies here. But with this one, we're going to have the mollies a little bit farther out. So alarm bot basically at the bottom of the stairs, and then you're going to put a molly basically on this centerpiece right next to it, and then hop back in this corner, just aim at this dark spot right here and plop that. Again, full coverage is what we want. Look at that beautiful setup. Forces them out into sight or forces them back in this lane area. The main reason I prefer this over one that just damages them on lane is 1, it's pretty hard to shock dart this from these windows, which is a really common counter now, and 2, it allows you to play from back sight, and when they drop, avoiding the mollies, you can shoot them from here, or you can play closer up, and as they fall back from the mollies, you can see them from this angle here. So really nice setup. Okay, all that's left is a little retake ult. These are very nice on Ascent. First up towards B, we look at the map here. This thing literally covers everything. It's insane. My only big tip is make sure B main is clear before you do this. When you retake, you have to be really careful B main, especially lane. I see too many players just run out here and they're like, okay, it's time to ult. And because there's a B main player, this ult doesn't work. So clear B main first. Make sure that you have control of that before you do this ult. After you do the ult, or even before, nice to have something if you have the available util. If it's already set up, I'm just popping an alarm bot. If you have a turret already set up, I keep that. But nice to have something just to watch one of these lanes. So when you pop this, you only have to watch stairs and you don't have to worry about lane. This is a really nice benefit to have. And now once we pop this ult, all of our attention can go here, and they're basically screwed on site and they're forced to fight. Okay, 1 piece of utility is good. Please don't spam all your utility. Killjoys have a terrible habit of doing this. 1 piece of utility. Okay, that's pretty much it. Only other cool thing I have for you is I found this nice little molly while messing around with Killjoy, and it basically clears all logs. They can't even crouch under it. So that's really nice. This makes for a really nice retake one. Like let's say you're coming out of the smoke here and you still have a extra molly. You could throw one right here to the left and just insta pop it, and that would clear logs for you. Now let's go ahead and head towards A. Now I hate A site. I very rarely play here, mostly when I have ult, but I'll show you what I like to do over here. First up, just the default setup. This is the one I pretty much do every time, is a turret here. This watches the walkout. It's harder to break. Sometimes people just peek here and break this, and if you're more passively playing, you're not exactly on site, even just in general, it's a lot nicer just to have that turret up. Then combined with this turret, I like to put the alarm bot. Again, we keep in mind the pathing, so I like to put it more towards here, so when it activates, let me show you the little range again. It activates when they're walking towards door instead of when it's all the way back here. So I want them literally on the switch, because this is what we're doing. We're doing a kill setup for switch, so we do that there, and then we throw a molly here and a molly right next to it. Okay, so if I'm an enemy, I'm going to close door, la-di-da-da. I get hit by the alarm bot, I get popped by 2 mollies. Oh crap, get me the heck out. Very nice setup to play off of. My only big thing for your mollies, I don't have specific places, just make sure they have good coverage. The only other variance I really have is sometimes I do on-site mollies. Again, to counter the Jett dash, that's all this really serves. I put this here, and then I can put like alarm bot in the middle. And this is really nice to play backside of. And this is really nice to play from dice on. You can swing off that, or towards Jen, because the Jett might be coming right on top of you here. Only other setup I use here is my ult setup. This is my favorite setup personally. The turret I kind of put wherever, but the idea is we just don't want our ult touched. It's just like our B main one that we did here. We just don't want our ult being touched. So before the round starts, I'm putting down a turret. I like the map control one. This one I would probably put a more aggressive one like towards here, and that's just going to watch our A main walk out, let us know they're coming up A, and it started around. I just dropped this here. Okay, the entire idea behind this is I just don't want them coming up cat at all. You can even put this one a little deeper instead of in this corner. You can put it like all the way out here. The idea is you just don't want to be snuck up on cat here. This is the big weakness of this ult. And with this setup, once you get on site, your turret gets broken. They're going to plant. Make sure that you wait for them to plant before you plant. You can hop up here, drop the ult down. Okay, there's only one gap here. They're going to be forced into line, and that's all you have to worry about. They're going to run off site. All of site is going to be covered. So only wine and lobby. There is a lineup for this. I don't think it's super important to know. I think I remember it. Into this quarter, you see this dark spot here. You basically aim to a little of it when the trees or the leaves finally start. Chuck that sucker. That's going to land where we want it. Let me drop the ult down so you can see what this actually looks like. And we pop this. That's going to cover all of that spot. Okay, on attack for Killjoy, I basically do two things. I put alarm bot here at the start of the round, and then once the barriers drop, I put my turret up here. This gives me A main and mid control. The second thing I do is the exact same idea, but this time towards B. I usually put it here to try to avoid the Sova shock darts. If I notice he's shock darting it, I'm probably going to do something different with this. But for now, it's just our default. Round starts, I put turret up here. This one's really weird to place. It's very awkward. But you basically aim at like the bottom part of this tile and then you jump place. That's what I've always done. And this will watch your cat, and it can also see towards mid. There's that beautiful line right there. And this is just really nice. So both these setups are effectively letting you maintain map control, which is the best thing to do as Killjoy in this area. Okay, if you go with the team, same thing for A, same alarm bot, just have something for the flank, and I'm A-okay with whatever you want to do. I only have one big point left for attack, and it's these mollies. Okay, these mollies are so underused and so underutilized, it is terrible. Okay, they're either not used at all, or Killjoys like chuck them market every time they go A for no reason. This doesn't do anything. This doesn't keep enemies off. This usually just involves you having this util out while there's 5 other angles you're exposed to, so don't do that. Or they just get thrown on the bomb as soon as it's planted, and then they never end up getting used anyways because everyone takes fights from here because this is solo queue. This is how you use your mollies. Throw your molly for lane, throw your molly for stairs, or throw your molly for market, or throw your molly for market, throw your molly for CT. Okay, this is what you need. You need something that blocks people from entering into areas and allows you to effectively isolate a fight. I hear a stairs player, I pop the molly, he's either going to swing out or he's going to run back. Either way, I get a delay even longer. They flash out market, I pop the market molly, they fall right here, I get a free kill. They don't, they're out here, I get another free kill. Okay, this is how you use the mollies. Use them to isolate space. Use them to cut off space. And then if you have alarm bot, it's basically the same thing. Use alarm bot somewhere to let you cut off space. I use alarm bot lane, I can focus stairs. Or I'm right here ready to play off of it. I love Killjoy. Next up is Sova. This guy is one of my favorite agents to play on this map. He's got so many useful tricks, tips, and little knickknacks I'm lucky enough to get to show you today. The number one thing I see Sovas get wrong is this gosh darn ult. This thing should be shot at max distance every single time. So when you shoot the ult, the range is 65 meters for all you nerds out there. You want to shoot it so the people you're shooting are at the very end of that. Why? Why do you want this? It's because you have more control of it the farther away it is from you. Okay, if there's a guy running at me right here, he can easily just swerve to the right and avoid this. Farther away, it's way harder. So there's 2 of my favorite spots here. If you saw that clip, I actually started right here at the start of the round. Here's the first ult. This covers all of a lobby. Make sure you ping first so you can see where to shoot to have it land right above it. If they don't end up going A, you just do this one instead. I like these ones that cover like 3 different spots where the enemies like the path, and again, shoot right above it. These are 2 beautiful ults to do on defense side. Another 2 you can do if you get mid control. You can pop this with like a tiles dart and then just peek bottom mid so you can get some nice mid control. Is you can do the same thing from A main here. You can jump on top of here and get a little more flat distance. You really want this to be flat. I would never, yeah, I'm going to contradict myself on attack, but you don't want to like ult something at a diagonal like this. It usually offers way worse coverage. So yeah, ping again. All of A main covered. This one's absolutely destructive when you know they're A pushing. Let them get up first. Don't just insta-do this one. Let them gather up. And then surprise, surprise, you can do the same thing if you just go to this side. And this is another nasty, nasty ult. This would also cover all of lane as they come out. No one does ult. I literally have never seen one Sova do this ult in my life. Okay, the only other 2 things I think for defense is what I really like to do is play lane. This is no surprise. I like to do a shock dart at the start on pistol. You can do shock dart at the start. It's just free pressure. The shock darts really aren't that great anymore, so you just chuck them somewhere. You could chuck this one, but I like being here when I throw the shock dart, make sure it gets deep, and then maybe C1. If you're the type of guy who likes to Odin spam, I would never suggest doing a dart at the start. A lot of lower elo players make this mistake. It's really not that great. I would spam at the start instead. If you want the spam spot, my favorite one to do is jump on top of these blocks, and then you can just ping right here and right here, and you shoot right above this guy's tail. One little trick for this is at the start of the round, when there's like 1 second left is when you start shooting, because if you look at the Ares, it's going to kick up and then it's going to flatten out. It kicks up and you see it flattens out. So we want to get rid of that kick up in the buy phase. So 1 second left, then I pull down, the round starts, and I'm spamming in one spot. Makes it a bit more accurate. Very few people know that. Beyond that, I like to know a shock dart just goes like here, lands there. I don't get super crazy specific with these. My favorite thing to do is to play from lane, and if lane doesn't work, I just go back site, and then I play this dart here. This one's really destructive when they're coming out lane. When they're coming out site, you can spam them through this. I would really try to abuse this back site. You could go for like a spam too from market when they come out, do the same exact dart. My little tip for these little intel initiators is just shoot it above and behind them, and you're pretty much perfect. No one's gonna aim up here and shoot this dart when they're exposed to all these angles, right? They're crazy. The only other thing I would be careful of is a lot of Sovas don't get mid intel. When the team doesn't have mid intel, this is the thing about Ascent, it absolutely sucks. Some nice darts is just shooting one like on the top of that. Just want to scan lane and see if anyone's here, scan a little bit of that. There's nothing really crazy specific. I'll show you better ones for attack. You can't really scan tiles unless you're back here. You can shoot one like right there, and that scans tiles. And that's really all you want. You don't want anything crazy more specific than that. So I usually play B. That's because I have a pretty good B retake setup, and specifically I really like this dart for retake. You basically aim at just that little divot in the cloud and you do a 2-bar just as you're running. It's not super specific. It's just going to land on the back wall, and that's all you really want, and that'll scan for the retake. I'll show you what this looks like one more time, and then kind of what the line looks like. This is a nasty dart for your teammates on site, and also for you to get there in time, which is a lot of mistake that Sovas make, is they throw darts that they can't really play off of. So you're going to come up heaven, the dart's going to land, and then it's going to scan, and you're right here. And you can spam the people here, or you can play off of your teammates already. So it's pretty nice. It's a pretty gosh darn nice dart. Thank you, Sinatra, for making that like 3 years ago. Okay, once you're on site, there's another one I do. I think this one's also from Sinatra, shout out, is you crouch behind where this goes from white and gray. Crouch right in between that, double bounce, 2-bar, and you just aim at that yellow spot in the tape. Basically just aim at the bar, like the center area at the bar. 2-bar, 2 bounce. It's gonna bounce out the back of that, hit the bottom of hell. This is really nice when you still got the Odin. You make some noise with your gun as that's coming in. It's gonna be harder for them to hear it. And it gets some scans off. Really gets the hell players. That one's nice. The other really nice one is just this corner right there. Oh my god, I actually pinged it first try. You want the corner so it actually scans this. If you do it too far to the side, it's gonna scan nothing because this person can just hide from it. So yeah, make sure you get down the far left side. Besides that, I don't really need to show you a drone. I guess I'll just show drone pathing. Usually always go health first because that's the important spot to clear, and then you can glide on top of this and clear gen. I'll show you more little tricks you can do with the drone attack, but that's literally it. You just want to clear everything. This literally clears all the sight. Dice, both sides hell, and then you go back towards gen. This is a beautiful drone. You can even check that nifty little corner there at the end. So yeah, make sure you know what you're clearing with the drone. I wouldn't really ever retake this from here. If I was, I'd kind of do what we were doing from market, just throwing a dart above their heads like this. That's usually pretty good. But this is more if you're on site, I would say. If you're Sova playing A, I like to do this start. This is mainly when people are not really going A and they're defaulting, and you just want to find out if they're very early. You just chuck that dart. Again, Sova is not a lineups agent. If you want to learn all these crazy lineups, have fun sitting in customs for 20 hours, just do the stuff that works. You can do the same exact dart from tiles over here. You can do it completely safe too, and that'll scan all the tiles. If I were to randomly invent a dart, it would just be bounced off that wall, and hopefully it lands on cat. It does. That'll scan cat for you. If you haven't taken geometry yet, I would not watch my channel. The only other thing you can also do is a shock dart at the start like this. This is good to cancel a Sova drone that likes to go out here. There's really no other purpose for that. You can chuck a shock here at the start, and it might do a little bit of damage to the early peekers, but it's generally not worth it unless you're canceling out that Sova drone or something like that. I wouldn't suggest doing that just to do some damage. The big problem a lot of low elo players have, I'm laughing because it's hysterically true, they just shoot shock darts to try to do damage to people instead of trying to like do something. And it usually puts them in really bad positions. Like I see a lot of Sovas who like shock dart this corner from here. I'm like, what the heck are you doing? Why do they think it's like a one-shot kill and these players don't have guns? Anyways, here's a cute worm. Going on to attack. So it was really simple. Here's where I start going into some drone tech. So the drone actually has like a max height. It can't go any higher than this, but if you go off the bottom of a surface, it like pushes off. It pushes off the bottom of the surfaces basically. So you can ride it off like this bike and go a little bit higher and go out. So we use this. You can also jump to get like some momentum built up to go a little bit higher at the start. You see how it does that and then goes back down. So we use this at here. We just jump off this, do a jump with it. Besides that, you don't really jump. You're just trying to get over the surface quicker, and then we can clear close here. New Sova drone heckin' sucks. The old one was so much better. That's it. That's basically your job on attack. You just do this early drone. Honestly, I wouldn't recommend doing this as much as I would recommend just doing like a dart like this, where you just hit this ridge and it clears this close. The other one I like to do, I think, is a 1 bar off that crystal. Nope. Man, I haven't done this in a while. Where is it? Oh my gosh, this took me forever to find again. I also really like this start. This one's all from Sinatra, where you just aim in like the center of this crystal here, and you just do a 1 bar. Round starts, you just go in this crystal, center, 1 bar, and it lands in the god spot for the dart, where this literally clears all the sight. It clears all the gen, all of dice. Doesn't clear hell. Nothing really clears hell. And that's a beautiful one, because the round starts, you just pop this dart, and you're already with your team again. And then you can come up here after they clear close and do the Sova drone. You see how that goes down as soon as this is done, and then you can drone close. And then you don't have to worry about the rest of this garbage. You can maybe send it to tree, honestly. But maybe you tag whoever gets scanned, or you go tree. Tree is probably a decent option too. And clear all that, clear the smoke, clear the person who's gonna push through once the switch gets popped. That's always fun to deal with. And that's pretty much it. Like Sova A main, you either drone, dart close, or you dart sight, drone close. Once you get sight, there's one thing I like to do when I have my ult, and that's actually play back here. And I show this to some of my students, and it's a nasty ult you can do that kills the player's tree low key, but it really just kills the people who are about to retake A. So you can shoot it all the way up to heaven from here. And the idea for the ult is basically find where people are grouped up and you will decimate them. So you can play from A lobby here and play more retake, and then you could just shoot this ult from like anywhere. And it's pretty dang nice. It's pretty dang nice, I'm not gonna lie. Besides that, I'm not a post plant player. I think people who play for post plant are garbage, so I would really never do it. I have a dart for you sight that's pretty nice, where you aim to that gap and that'll scan all heaven. You can shoot that from this corner. Ideally you would like be on top of this, but that's really hard to get to. You can just shoot it from anywhere basically. Just find that gap. Oh, except if you suck like me. So you just shoot that gap, and then you can play through from here. Remember, this entire wall is wall baneable, so you could even do something like this where you hide right here and shoot the dart, wait for it to scan, and then pop up. That's okay. Remember, it doesn't scan this little cubby here. And that's pretty much it. There's one more dart you can do. If you just want to be safer, you can just do like this dart, like have it land on the corner. But ideally, I like this dart the best. Just somewhere behind them. And then you can also spam this from hell. Okay, it's really just, you get the scan, where can you spam them from? This is Ascent. This is where the spammy spam actually comes into play. Anyways, let's go mid now. There's a lineup you can do here, which the barriers need to be down. So let me restart this joint. Wow, look at that. Beautiful. You guys can see how long I've been doing this. 12 minutes. Jeez, that deserves a like. Any likers in the video? Like the video, smile. Anyways, you're at the buy phase and you just aim under the ramp or under the lamp where that wire is, and it's a full bar one bounce. Full bar one bounce. Lands on that corner. And that skin's all close and even someone mark it. I hate that dart. I barely do it. I like this dart more. When I was on like a team and we were doing strats, you aim at the top of the shadow where that gateway is. You aim at the top of the shadow and do a full bar. I actually missed it a little. Here's the gateway. It's live, it's raw, it's real. Welcome to the Slayerkey show. I did the same exact dart. I hate, no one go back and watch. I did the same dart. Anyways, bottom of the shadow, maybe a little bit below the shadow. Okay, a little bit below the shadow, and it lands like this. Let me shut the dart again. And that'll scan all the market, it'll scan all the pizza, it'll make my mouse stop working, and it'll also scan some of this, but really pizza and market. Okay, that's beautiful. It's beautiful to do a mid split off of, if you're doing like a B split. It's also a really nice info. A really nice info, find the market player. Besides that, there's like tiles. There's really nothing fancy here. Dart bottom mid. This is the default. Literally every single elo does this. Every single player does this. You need a dart bottom mid. As Sova, if your teams are going towards mid, just clears this close mid, which is really important. Makes scaling up in this space a whole lot easier because it's basically market. And then, guys, check out the Ko-Fi. Help me get a new mouse. Next up, we got the B darts. The B darts are pretty cool. There's basically two. There's this one for the tree, and then there's this one for the tree. That's basically all the darts. I'll show you one more. My favorite is not really this one for the tree unless I'm trying to counter spam, because it skins all of lane. So there's that Sova also skins that spot I showed you before. This skins most of sight. Ideally, I would want to do this tree one, except the problem with this, and what I see a lot of Sovas do, is they shoot this at the start of the round, they come out here, and they're like, okay, time to go sight, and then they get shot in the face by the player here. So what you want to do instead is make sure close is either droned or ideally flashed. The flash clears the space way easier. I would really suggest doing the flash. If not, jump peek at the start also works. Anyways, you just don't want to have to deal with this close space when you throw your util. So clear the close space, make sure your teammates are in the space, like here, before you shoot the dart. Because again, all util needs a follow-up or else it is worthless. So you throw a dart and you throw the drone, and this drone can clear close. My mouse is dying. My mouse is dying. And that clears everything. Notice how I cleared all the corners, know what you're clearing. Boom, lane, boom, logs, boom, other logs, market, boat, I don't know, the stairs. Like, there you go. The only other tip I have for you with this drone here is you can just avoid most of this and just go sight with it and ride the top of this and then clear all this. And if you're lucky enough, you can clear stairs. Okay, that's pretty cool. The dart I didn't show you guys was this one here. This is the Slayerkey dart. You basically have to land it on the corner like that, and that'll clear logs and this close and kind of lane, and that's a nice one. You can shoot the same dart, by the way, the tree one, from basically anywhere if you do like a fadeaway shot like Kobe, and landing it there is pretty nice too. There's really nothing crazy for this. Don't forget the shock dart like the KJ util, or even just like the person spamming. Don't just run out here and throw your shock darts here, or like be right here and throw your shock dart here like you're actually doing something without any intel. Find out the person's there first and then use your shock darts. There you go. Actually, don't do that, because that also leads to the same mistake. Just don't use the shock darts. If you're going to take one thing away from all this, just don't use the shock darts. You remember those darts I showed you on defense are really good? Surprise, surprise, they're going to attack too. I would also throw this one here. This one's kind of nice because it's really weird to break when they're coming out market. And the entire purpose of these darts is so you're either here playing off of it. So for example, I throw this dart from here and I can just spam them through this, or I can do a dart like right here and do the same thing and spam them through this. And you know, yeah, I can throw it and spam them through this, and that's basically life. Remember, on Initiator, your entire goal is just to get intel. Anyways, let's cover Jett. Jett is a beautiful little agent. She's got all the things you need to be nasty and 30. She's got that dash. She's not only good at aggressive fights, which It's not bad to be taken. She's also heckin' good with the op. If you know how to play the op on her, she's disgusting. I'm going to show you how to play the op on her because I honestly just think Jett on Ascent with the op can be deadly. I'll just give you the most obvious stuff first. It really is just peek cat. Look here, don't do this every round. This is the problem. Don't do this every round. Do this on a round you don't expect. Don't let this be your default. Do something else as your default. Make this be your surprise play, because you want to find out. A lot of plays work a lot better if you find out they're doing it first and then you counter it. So they like to go mid. Now I do this play. Now I feel more comfortable investing dash because I know they like to go mid. And now I don't just sit here and burn my dash because I have a read here and coach wouldn't yell at me because I had that read. I like going wider on this. I like holding this angle instead because a lot of people pre-aim this spot. And this actually makes it harder for you to counter if a jump peek because you're seeing deeper into the angle versus here. Aha, a little tip. The same thing really goes for this. This probably more for higher elo players is we hold this instead. So like barrier drops here. I hold the top of this instead because people love to jump peek over this box. And then I can just flick to here after. I know it's so weird, it's so strange, but it's really good. And then you just flick there after, or you can just hold it if you're low elo. Always hold wider with op shots. Expect people to wide swing you. Give yourself the space to react. Don't hold the angle like this. You're not tens, rest in peace. I know you got the human benchmark score to prove it, but please just hold wider and give yourself equal room to adjust for both sides because that's what pros do. And look at that, wow. For A main, I really don't play this angle because it's 2 and it's risky and it's kind of stupid. I don't really like this. Instead, I like holding like, I like playing back positions on Jett a lot. This will be both with the op and Vandal, where I wait here, see if they make noise, and then I pop dash and then peek into it like this to find out if they're here. And then whatever happens, I can throw this and then go like backside and reposition. And this is really nice. Backside, there's some nice angles with dice here. I like dice a lot more. I play dice a lot more. It's just, you can see how I'm maneuvering. I get hell. I get a peek from here. I get more to play around. I can throw my, I don't know, I don't do this, but like you can throw your smoke here and like create your own angles and stuff. But besides that, like you can opt from heaven and it's not bad. Don't do it when your teammates are here. I literally have a video of me coaching a student and them doing this. Don't do this when your teammates are fighting A main. You need to be up here on the edge of the lines. Oppers should always have a line they're holding. That's what makes them good oppers. After you finish your line, for example, after we kill these players, we have to make a decision of do we push further or are we falling back and repositioning? You should never really, unless you know they're pushing into you, like they're running up cat here, you should never really just continue holding this line and like re-peek it again. Like you need to do something special, probably pop dash, but the point I'm getting at here is you should reposition. Don't use the dash to reposition, but instead just like run through mid here and then post up on this line or literally go all the way B. Okay, there's players, by the way, that I know people watch Tarek, he's pretty popular. He does this all the time. He gets a kill and then you see him literally knife out and he goes heaven and he just holds this line. He just switches to this line. And it's a really strong play. As an op, you should never be in one spot. You need to hold different lines, and after the lines, you need to find different lines. Lines. Valorant is basically geometry. Okay, let me show you some Vandal tricks. So if you want to play Vandal, it's the same thing as A main. You can wait for a timing, wait for a footstep, wait for abilities, and then peek after, especially like B main, they like these Omen flash. Peek wide, wait for them to come, run out your dash. If they don't come, you can walk away. Or you can tug deeper and decide whether or not you want to keep pushing because maybe they're not even B. Maybe they're like what our Sova did and dart our bottom mid and then we can continue our push through tiles and take the space like an actual good player would. Or we can just dash out and then we do nothing this round and we're like, coach, why don't I rank up? And I'm like, well, you don't actually do anything with the intel you're getting or like... Anyways, one really nice spot I like to play is walk down bottom mid and play this angle. You get them when they walk up cat. No smoke can cover all of this, I don't think. Maybe Astra. And you can just play this corner. People walk up all the time, and you remember this dart, so be careful of that. Ask for a team to break it, kind of like Icebox, and then you hold this. And if they don't come here, this is when you would start to scale down mid. It's a very good map to go aggressive. There's even certain times where I've literally just been like, these guys only 5 main A main. I am knife out, running up cat at the start of the round. I don't care, these guys can hear me. They do the same thing every single round. And then you can have the quickest flank in the West. Okay, well, don't take the angle like that. You would jump over the cypher trip here and then you would now walk and like, oh look, they're coming outside. I literally did this in the no ability video if you saw that, and I didn't jump over the trip, I just broke it. So I gave all the intel the world, you guys could have me. It was high ranks, it was like I ascended and it worked. So Don't come in the comments at me like, oh, he says, coach, this doesn't work. This isn't gonna work. Anyways, this updraft with knives is pretty nice. I wouldn't really recommend it, again, unless you know someone's here. There's also this one when they come out sight. That one's pretty nice. I wouldn't really recommend doing it from here because everyone's looking stairs already. But usually towards lane or something, you get better odds. But you can also do it from CT. Again, we're taking more passive angles here because you take the passive angle first and then you hover into the aggressive angle so you don't take on all the angles at once. It's kind of the same thing for here. Let me get in the right spot. You go from like back here and then you take on more. It's the same thing for all these. You just don't want to go like this and like there's 3 guys here and then you get hit by a Reyna flash and yeah, you're dead. You can do it from this side right here and see over. I mean, you can even do it from like here and pop and dash and kind of hover into more angles. This is more so if they're on site already. And that's kind of nice too. One other thing you can do is ask for one way a main and shift walk over to here. And now you have a beautiful wide angle. You get a teammate playing with you here. This is also my Reyna no abilities video. And you just play here and then you let that teammate make contact and then you play off of it and go hamo, blamo, destructo mode. And if you can't, well, then you, I don't know, try to dash out and get away. It wouldn't really work there. So you kind of just got to stick it out and pray to God. Anyways, I kind of exhausted my defense playbook, so let's go to attack. Okay, my thing for entries is always make sure your initiators are someone supporting your entry. Don't think, oh, I'm an entry, so I should go on site. No, I'm an entry, so I need util to complement my site and then teammates to trade me. Like, what are you thinking? But you would want to have something to, like a flash or something here to block off that early angle. And then there's like 15 different ways to take this entry path here. But the one you'll never expect is the updraft dash over, but then there's gonna be one guy in the comments like, oh, I know that one, Slayer, so I'll show you that one first. You can like dash out here. Make sure when you dash out you can like clear stuff, so I can clear all the left side here. You just like jump and then do a right dash, or you can do like a diagonal dash with it like this, and that would just clear the left side, or you can clear the right side, whatever. Just like look over real quick. And that's pretty much it. I messed up every single one, but you get the idea. The only other thing I would really recommend, I'm literally just spitballing here, is I would just like smoke this when they're like coming out cat, or smoke this when they're coming out stairs, because it's just a quick one way and it's pretty nice. Make sure you time this with like their util or their footsteps. You really have to read into the enemy, by the way, to play this game. I don't know if you know this, but there's this game called chess, and it's not about what moves you make, it's what moves you make according to your enemy's moves and where their pieces are positioned. So that's pretty important. Anyways, there's nothing really mid. You can get away with like not smoking this and having you smoking instead, like popping dash and then running through market. The market play with Jett's dash is really good. You see it a lot. You pop this and you just clear all this and you continue running up, and then you have a nice little B split, and then you do our switch dash, and then you close the switch behind you and all your teammates. And then you're on side by yourself. Yeah, don't do that. But that's pretty much it. You go mid, you dash up. There's really nothing special you can do here. One really nice move you can do with the dash is just pop dash and run on site. I show you like all these on-site entries, but really if you just pop dash and clear all the space, you have your teammates behind you to support, and you still take the same risk, but usually you can actually get more space like this, and then you can take on more site this way. And this would go for like A main. This would go for pretty much anywhere because you can just clear stuff. Like I would probably clear left here, and then I pat back and clear right. And if I get in trouble, I'm just out, and then my teammates are behind me to trade me. Again, this is all like the stuff I said at the entries, teammates and abilities to support us. So that's really nice to do. You can do that for B and all the places. When it comes to entry in A, there's really nothing special. Avoid the cypher trips. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm showing you the best entry for A. I don't care what anyone says. I made this entry. If someone hits a clip of this entry, please send it in the Discord. There's a nifty little trick with Jett's dash and ramps. And what you do is you dash into a ramp and then you updraft and you get extra speed, and you can make it all the way to heaven from here. So we go on these ramps on the side and then we hover after, and then you can get like an insta heaven flank. But yeah, that's it. It's a pretty cool entry. I like it. There's only one other one you can do that's like decent. It's just going gen basically. You can go on top here. This one kind of sucks, and people who think they're really good at Jett do it, but it's actually a pretty shitty entry. I like going dice instead, really, because you can wrap dice and get the gym player usually just tucks anyways, and you can throw 2 smokes and kind of like block this all off, and then you can like hop on top of here, and it's kind of like, whoa, how do you do that? Instead of like, oh, I'm on top of the gen, look at me guys, look at me. And then you're like, I don't know what to clear. I'm looking down here. Oh, there's a guy over here. Oh no. And that's pretty much it. All these entries you can pretty much combine with a second smoke if you feel like pressured or you want to stall a bit longer for your team. Some Jetts throw 2 on top of them, so they throw 1 and then another one like when the other one's about to end, and then they play off it that way. That's really nice. You just want to create pressure. Remember, you're a gap closer, so you go from like here to here. You make everyone on site be scared of here. So just you being alive is a valuable asset. So you don't have to actually like get kills to get value. Or you can be like every other Jett main and just PK main every round, or Reyna main and be like, wow, I'm doing so much for the team. I get all the kills, but for some reason I'm top fragging and I'm not winning games. I wonder why. Man, life is so confusing. Such a complex mystery. How did that come to happen? Anyways, let's cover Omen. Hi, today I'm showing you an Omen clip. This is a 1v5 clutch ace I lost and I'm really sad about. But let me show you some of the ideas behind it. We smoked main because we're stupid. And we throw ult here to reposition for ally. And here's a little nifty fact about the Omen ult, is you can actually see where it makes noise around the circle here. So anyone in the circle can hear you. So I did this ult and he could hear me if it was Jen and Dice. Or just Jen. And then I don't even know. This was a bad clip. This one's old. We see Sova here, and you don't do what I do here, which is smoke off and deny myself intel and angles, because I had him stuck Dice, and then all of a sudden he's not Dice. I'm like, oh shoot. And I try to make up for it by doing a flash TP, like the classic. I'm like, oh, where'd he go? Oh, he could be held. No, stupid, he's in your smoke. Like, it's the most obvious play in the world. Why aren't you looking at your smoke? And then I go and clear hell for some reason and like shoot 15 bullets, and I get shot in the back. I'm like, wow, how'd that happen? But yeah, you get the clip, you don't get the diffuse. Omen's a really cool agent. I like Omen a lot. He's got his flash. He's literally like a pseudo duelist. He's pretty versatile. Like, you can just TP flash on site and TP into your smoke, and I'll show you that in game. Anyways, Omen's a really cool agent. Let me show you the cool stuff you can do. Oh my gosh, nice little scan though before he comes out. Not bad, not bad. All right, let me show you some actual plays now. We're waiting for our teammates to come so we can throw the flash. And the important thing of Omen's TP is you just want to TP anywhere risky. And if you TP anywhere risky, you usually get pretty good positioning with Omen. And that's life. That's basically life. And just like that, you kill 4 people. So let me go in game and show you what this looks like on Ascent. And when you say like, oh, Slayerkey, this isn't going to work out, or what if you just turn around and see me, or Slayer, what if, like, you're not thinking of Omen. Okay, Omen isn't about what ifs. It's like, what can I do? What can I get away with? So very first thing I want to show you is you could just TP inside of your smoke like this. Like, it's basically, okay, well, maybe not like that. Maybe like this. You can just TP inside of your smoke, and you can just be like a pseudo Jett. Like, it's insane. You can just be a pseudo Jett, and then you can throw another TP like on top of here if you're feeling crazy, and then now you have like a side entry and no one really expects you to be here, and it's kind of stupid. I've also done this a few times where I throw like this smoke and, you know, the enemy smoke off a main, and I just TP into my tree smoke, and like life's pretty good, and then I can just entry from here. So like Omen's pretty versatile, and I should show this clip before the other clips because it kind of blows your mind a little. Also, there's this one way here that's really good. Let's go ahead and talk about that. If I did it right, it actually blocks. This is like a on-site, like you're holding site, and they're retaking from tree type thing. Don't do this when you're here because this player gonna shoot your toes here too. It is a two-way, one-way, so not good. You want it to be when you're on site. So yeah, smoke this, save your second smoke, don't smoke heaven. Heaven smoke sucks. I'm not gonna talk about it for the 50th time. It's just this angle already exists. Why would you throw another smoke on an angle that already exists? For like the small benefit it gives when people are just going to come out and use util anyways. Instead, save that second smoke for when you're on site and throw it towards this tree door or towards heaven. I want to pretend this one way is actually good, but there's like a one way you can throw on this edge here that's not terrible if you're on top of Jen, which you could be. So TP on top of Jen, and that's pretty much A. You can throw this flash for Jen, and I would never flash tree. I don't know what that one guy on the clip was thinking, but flash Jen's pretty good. If you combine this with like this smoke here and then this smoke here, and then you throw a flash here and then you run to the enemy smoke and you TP here, you could probably like wrap here and kill this guy. I mean, you can also wrap here and kill this guy and maybe get away with it too, but that's the entire idea, because that guy's blind, he doesn't hear you. That's the important note there, and so you just do that and it works. There pretty much nothing else for A. Like, that's just Omen's job. Don't go super aggressive and do that TP like late into the round unless you're really stupid. I've seen too many Omens like do this and they're like, oh, I'm so smart. Like, they don't hear my TP. Then when the smoke drops, there's not gonna be 3 people here waiting with util and guns, and they didn't just, again, hear me here. I'm not just gonna get one and get traded off immediately because I'm gonna have to drop 20 feet to get out of this. So, yep, I would not play here. TLDR. If you're doing like an A split, you always smoke bottom mid. If you're doing a B split, you always smoke cat. If you're contesting mid, you always smoke cat. Cat should always be smoked. This is really unfavorable for anyone peeking tiles. The tiles player generally loses statistically, mathematically, alphabetically. They just lose, and so you want to go bottom mid instead. You want to smoke cat instead of bottom mid. Sovas can dart bottom mid and clear it a lot easier too. So yeah, you smoke this, and if you're doing a B split, I wouldn't smoke this. You could, you might want to. If you're just not going to do it, you could, but then when you come up here, you're not going to have a smoke for CT, which is really going to suck. That's really going to suck. So I like this one a bit more, and I like, I don't know, just fighting these guys or having someone else flash it, or just like jumping across, or just like having a fight. I don't know, like I just like it more. I like the CT smoke a lot more. I hate fighting these guys. I think it's a little wasteful. My opinion, suck it up. So the only thing you can do is a flash for market. I wouldn't really do it from back here. I'd maybe do it from like back here when your teammates are closer. And the flash market just helps this guy, the Jett, who's supposed to be entering here at this point. I've covered every single role, so you can kind of see how these all play together, right? You saw where the Sova darted, you saw where the Jett's going to enter. You know, the Jett's going to cover the smoke. Like, I could just coach your team if you want me to. Anyways, you smoke CT here. And the only other thing, there's really nothing else for that. You flash this at the start. This is like a default for like every Omen. I like flashing from this corner a bit better because yeah, it flashes them, but then you can come up a bit sooner. I don't care why people flash from here. Like, you're gonna flash this guy back here and it's only gonna do more value. They're gonna dodge your flash either way, so don't even hit me with that in the comments. I'll just delete your comment, I'm not gonna lie. And then you just push up. So we do our default smokes. Remember, we do them flush with the lanes. If I'm going too fast, 0.5 the video so I get better watch time. And it basically goes in flush with that line. That's what we want. Everyone should know this at this point. The reason we do this is because if you do this smoke, which lower elo players love to do, because they're like, oh, I'm blocking them off from coming out. They're just going to come out stairs, or they're going to like flash out and drop here. And they're just going to do like 50 other things, and it's going to suck for your entries. And I'm going to be scared of the smoke instead of what your smoke should be doing is making me not have to worry about this space. So these smokes are good. If you still have the flash here, you can do on this left side, this is stairs, boat, and whatever those, like the corner of lane, like where people like to play from here. And then that goes sight, and that does everything. And then that one's pretty good. Don't flash back sight. It's pretty garbo. Again, we can fill the Jett entry here, and we can just TP on top of this without any smokes. Close the door. If we want to go to sight, I mean, you really don't do anything like TP crazy wise here. One thing I like to do, I've done this a bit, is like TP wide lane when my teammates swing out, and then I get here quicker and swing this backside player who loves to play in that corner. And life's pretty good. Life's pretty good when you do that. You're invulnerable while you're TPing. So, and it makes them all look towards your way. You're kind of like a Jett entry, by the way. So like your gap closing here. These players don't have to worry about this, worry about this. You see how like all the Valorant's like the same concept, and if I just keep repeating the same thing, you're eventually gonna understand things, and you'll be like, wow, coach, thanks for the information. Like, this is such a valuable video. And then you'll send it to your friends, and you'll be like, wow, dude, you should check out this video. I'll be like, yeah, that's a really good idea. Anyways, we have Omen ults, and I haven't really been talking about them. It's not that good of an ability. It really isn't. You TP backside on B while your teammates are coming out. I generally stick this if I don't see anyone backside, and if I don't think they're playing anywhere, like lane or something, I stick it. Otherwise, I just recall it because you don't want to never do like people who do these TPs are generally just like stupid, or they're on a more coordinated team. So I would never really do these. I like ones that are weird. So like the one time I'd allow you to do is smoke heaven is if you do this TP with it. Because that'll block off the heaven player, and you'll be in heaven, and these players are gonna have to worry about it, and they're like, whoa, what's that sound? I'm so stupid, I'm in gold. And you'll just kill them from behind. So life's great. If you do these TPs in any rank, it'll work. On defense, you can do ults too. I think it's time to cover defense. So on defense, you can like ult in their spawn, and it's pretty good. You can actually ult here, and I know what I just said, and you were like, Slayer, you're a hypocrite. I'm gonna be like, yeah, but I'm a self-aware hypocrite, so it's okay. And so that one's pretty good because you scan all the way outside B main, and you see the Taos players at the start generally, so you can usually stick this. I just made this ult up. I don't know if it's actually good. So let's go on to ones I know are good, which are basically none. No good ults are really good on defense. All the good ults come from having intel. So like if we know they're hard hitting A, then we can do like an ult top mid like this. And then we can get behind them on an early flank, or like clear cat, make sure there's no cat, and also have an early flank. Or like, oh, it's a hard A hit, I'm all the way on B. Let me just TP, I don't know, on top of A real quick. Actually, I would TP like on top of this real quick. but Slayer, shouldn't you not TP up here because you have to drop 20 feet and they're going to use abilities anyways? Yeah, shut up. But you play from here and then you can drop from back here. And then you can play from this position, then you can TP out. We're going to talk about this more in defense, but that's pretty cool. Wait, we are on defense. Okay, so when we're attacking towards A, we can throw a smoke here at the start of the round, and it's pretty nice. This is the default. That's really good, but it's only good if someone fights it. If you just throw it, and especially if they're not conditioned, don't talk about conditioning here because everyone just can be like, what if this and that, and most people don't do it. So let's talk about this first. You throw the smoke here. If you want to condition them out, okay, I cracked. If you want to condition them, you flash this at the start of a few rounds. You have a teammate fight, you're very aggressive in this area. So when they see this smoke, they just get scared of A main and they think they have to use a bunch of util, and then surprise, surprise, no one's there. Generally though, you should be here anyways because it's a pretty nice one way to hold. It also helps your teammates get into wine early. And then look, you can be that person helping the Jett who's playing in wine. I just create, oh my gosh, it's just like a playbook that's just coming together piece by piece. Or you can TP here at the start of the round, and then you can TP out when things get scary. That is life. You can also throw a smoke here, so this one's more safer than like the Jett one we saw. And so like what this would look like is like you smoked them up here, and if you don't have a teammate playing here, this is the only time you would throw this smoke because you're not trying to block off your teammate here. So you throw this smoke, and then you can hold it from here. I don't know, I wouldn't really do that. I'd do the for the surprise attack here. And you hear him come up, you throw this smoke, and then, hey, Omen's smoke makes a noise, you know, Slayer. Shut up. Like, I don't care. And you pick up after, and then you do the TP, and now you have like a safe smoke to get away in. For Cat, you can do the same as Jett, and just TP off after you kill one. The reposition with TP is really nice. One thing you can do with Omen. Anyways, for mid, you want to smoke to complement your teammate who's like aggressive towards mid. So if your Sova's darting top mid, you smoke tiles. Sova's darting tiles, you smoke top mid. If your Jett's opping tiles, you smoke top mid. If your Jett's opping top mid, you smoke tiles. That's life. You don't have to throw it from there. You can throw from anywhere. That's the magic of Omen. Besides that, there's nothing really here. You can do this little corner play, and you can get this kill, and again, you can reposition with the TP. If you do this tile smoke, you can like TP inside of it if you really wanted to. I don't know. I'm trying to find something for you guys here that's kind of cool. You can do this, and then you can have like an early flank and also take on those early aggressions. The idea of Omen, guys, and girls, I guess, is you just want to be aggressive with your utility, but you want to be like smart aggressive and like unpredictable aggressive. So like me TPing into this smoke when I'm entering on A is actually a really good play if I do it right, because I just get into market very early. And if I don't do that play, I'm just like, yeah, Slayer told me to TP on site, so I'm just going to TP here. And I'm like, dude, come on. Like, great play. The same play with Jett works out for here too, but instead you probably play more of a side angle like here at the start, and then TP off after the kill. Let me get you the whole visualization there. Bop, bop, TP. Or you can fake the TP. Oh my gosh, we're talking about fake TPs. You can do this, and it looks like you TP'd, but you really didn't. Or you just did the noise. But this is even cooler because you look like a professional. So, TP in and out. Wow, you really are something special, aren't you? The other thing you can do is a one-way at the start, which goes on the bottom lip here. And this is just like the A main one. Same idea of conditioning. You can also support your teammates with the long flash. Omen's pretty good because there's a lot of straight lanes like this, I guess, that are good for his flash. Kind of like the Sova ult, you want to ping before you do it, I would suggest, because you want to throw it center, especially if you're doing like a weird vertical flash. I don't know, let's make something up real quick. Let's say you want to flash for your teammates in heaven. Like you would be like, hey, I'm flashing your heaven, and then you flash here. You want to be like, hey, I'm flashing your heaven, and then you like jump and throw it so it actually covers the entire lane. That's pretty important for like some of this stuff, because kind of like this one, you want it to cover this jump up especially at the start of the run. So yeah, there's Slayer's tips, there's everything I know about Ascent, there's everything you should do. I probably missed a few things, but who cares? I talked fast enough, you have a short enough attention span, life works out. This is the part where I talk about stuff that makes me money. I do sub wars with my supporters on Ko-Fi. I do secret side shows. You can straight up just get coaching with me. There's even like, if you're like, oh, Slayer, you show me these agents, but I want to learn more. I have modules where I cover every single agent in Valorant, because I'm like, wow, like these agents are all repetitive, and I see the same things in all the students I coach. So I highly recommend this before you look at coaching. Otherwise, you know, whatever. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and subscribe, I guess, if you want to hear me talk even faster.